David Miller lived in Chicago, a city that buzzed with ambition, coffee shops, and endless movement. He was in his late 20s, a marketing professional who had always been curious about one thing: relationships. More than just dating tips or tricks, he wanted to understand the psychology behind attraction, respect, and genuine connection. It all began one Saturday morning when David sat down in a quiet cafe near Lake Michigan. His best friend Marcus slid into the seat across from him. Marcus was tall, confident, and the kind of guy who seemed to know everyone in the room. He smiled knowingly at David. "You always ask me how I connect so easily with people," Marcus said, sipping his coffee. "It's not magic. It's psychology. If you understand what women want, you can connect with anyone." David leaned in. "So tell me, what's the secret?" Marcus smiled. "It's not about pretending to be someone else. It's about becoming the best version of yourself." From that moment, David began a journey through Chicago. Its parks, its offices, its crowded trains, learning step by step how to build real connections. Along the way, he met women who taught him lessons in confidence, kindness, and authenticity. Scene 1. Confidence Matters. One afternoon, David attended a professional networking event in downtown Chicago. He noticed Emma, a journalist from New York, speaking passionately about her recent work. Instead of hesitating, David approached her with a genuine smile. "Hi, I really enjoyed hearing you speak," he said warmly. "Your perspective on storytelling was inspiring." Emma's eyes lit up. She wasn't impressed by expensive suits or flashy introductions. She was impressed by confidence that wasn't arrogant. That moment taught David that women respect a man who believes in himself without looking down on others. Scene 2. Listening is more attractive than talking. Later that week, David went to Millennium Park with his notebook. He met Claire, an artist sketching the Chicago skyline. Instead of talking endlessly about himself, David simply asked about her art. Claire smiled and shared stories of how Chicago inspired her work. David realized something powerful. When you truly listen, you make someone feel valued. Women, just like anyone, appreciate being understood rather than being treated like an audience. Scene 3. Kindness is a strength. On a busy train, David noticed an elderly woman struggling with her bags. He helped her without hesitation. Standing nearby, Rachel, a medical student, noticed. Later she said, "That was kind of you." It wasn't about impressing anyone. It was about being a decent human being. David realized that genuine kindness is a quality women naturally respect. Scene 4. Body language speaks louder than words. At a local community event, David practiced something Marcus had taught him: open body language. He stood tall, kept his arms relaxed, and maintained gentle eye contact. He met Olivia, a teacher, who later admitted, "I felt comfortable talking to you because you seemed approachable." David understood. Before words are spoken, your body already communicates who you are. Scene 5. Ambition attracts. David's career began taking off. He wasn't the richest man in Chicago, but he was passionate about his work. During a meeting, his enthusiasm about a marketing campaign impressed Sarah, a colleague. Later she told him, "I admire how focused you are. It makes people want to listen." David learned that ambition isn't about money. It's about purpose. Women respect men who are driven by something meaningful. Scene 6. Respect is the foundation. At a volunteer event in Lincoln Park, David met Hannah, a law student. During a group discussion, some people tried to interrupt her, but David waited and gave her the space to finish her point. Afterward, Hannah smiled. "Thank you for respecting my voice." David realized that respect isn't something you demand. It's something you show. Scene 7. Humor builds connection. One rainy evening, David found himself stuck in a long coffee shop line. Standing next to him was Lily, who looked equally tired. He cracked a light-hearted joke about how the line was moving slower than Chicago traffic on a Monday morning. She laughed. That laughter broke the ice, and soon they were chatting like old friends. David learned that humor, when used kindly, is one of the easiest bridges between people. Scene 8. Honesty is magnetic. David once made the mistake of pretending he liked a band just to impress Mia, a music lover from Boston. But when she asked deeper questions, he admitted the truth. I'm actually more into jazz than rock, he confessed. Instead of being upset, Mia laughed. At least you're honest. That's refreshing. David realized honesty is far more attractive than pretending to be perfect. Scene 9. Patience builds trust. Relationships don't happen overnight. David learned this when he stayed in touch with Natalie, a busy nurse. Instead of rushing, he respected her schedule and supported her goals. Over time, trust grew naturally. He realized that patience, not pressure, makes women feel safe. Scene 10. Becoming the best version of yourself. Months later, David reflected on his journey while walking by Lake Michigan. He hadn't learned tricks or shortcuts. He had learned values: confidence, listening, kindness, respect, ambition, humor, honesty, and patience. Marcus joined him and asked, "So, did you figure it out? How to get any woman you want?" David smiled. "Yes. You don't chase women. You become the kind of man women genuinely want to be around. That's the real secret." And as the Chicago skyline glowed behind him, David knew that this was more than about attraction. It was about becoming a better person.